Welcome into CBS Sports HQ on this Wednesday. Amanda Guerra, Chris Hassel, Douzable and Pete Prisco getting ready for Week 4 in the NFL. And Pete, you're already asking the same question you asked about this time last year.
Is anybody any good?
Is anyone any good?
I mean,
you don't know until about Week 4, huh?
No, you won't know until November 1st.
A few teams that you had inside your top 5 of your power rankings before the season aren't even in the top 10 anymore.
It's amazing. Look, figuring out this league from year to year is almost impossible to do.
Literally.
It really is.
You give it a shot every year.
Well, I'm paid to do that.
Well, let's start with one of those championship contenders, the Baltimore Ravens, who, boy, they're giving up 32 points a game. Only the Dolphins are giving up more points per game. And the Dolphins have only given up one more point this season than the Ravens.
Sure.
Look at the company the Ravens are in, though. I mean, that's not, you don't want to be with the Dolphins and the Titans and the Jets. All those teams are winless.
The Jets. Say that.
Sorry, Leger. So let's play a little panic meter game. 1 is no panic, 2 is very concerned, 3 you're sounding the panic alarm. And we'll start with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, guys, they started 0-2 last season.
Yeah.
And they had real major defensive issues early in last season, and they turned it around late. So what's the panic meter at right now?
To me, it's very concerned. And me, Pete, had this conversation earlier.
So what's the number?
It's 2.
Okay.
So it's very concerned. Very, very concerned. To your point, Has, this is not new for the Baltimore Ravens. They were 0-2, and their pass defense was atrocious last year. Matter of fact, it was last in the NFL when you look at the first 11 weeks of the season. They moved Kyle Hamilton to free safety. He's a communicator. He gets everybody on the same page. But now it's the physicality. They're losing in the trenches, and that is not something that the Ravens have ever been synonymous with, right? Losing the physical battle in the trenches. So when you look at that, that's a want-to thing. Like, that is why I'm very concerned, because it's one thing to have busted coverages or miscommunication, but when you're losing the physical battle in the trenches, like, that's a mentality thing. That's not an X's and O thing. So going forward, this is a big game, obviously, this week versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They actually haven't been able to run the ball, so we'll see. Maybe that, plays in the favor of the Baltimore Ravens because they haven't been able to stop the run. But if you're this Ravens team and Lamar Jackson has 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and you're 1-2, the defense has to show up. Even me, going into this offseason, because of all the names on that defense, I thought this was going to be a top 5 defense. They looked anything but that, Pete.
It's a 1 for me. And here's why. The division's bad. Let's be real. I mean, you have Jake Browning playing for the Bengals. They're finished. You have the Browns. They're really good on defense. They don't do anything on offense. And then you don't know what the Steelers are. They don't know what they are. We have no idea. They don't play great defense. They don't run the ball. We don't know what the Steelers are either. So I think from that standpoint, it makes it a 1. I get it. You're right. They got physically mauled. And that's not who the Ravens are. Usually they're the one that bullies the bully. Now the bully is getting bullied. So it's a problem for them. And unless they start playing physical football, it's a real issue. And by the way, let's take a look at Derrick Henry the last
I knew you were going.
Because Derrick loves running backs.
Well, I mean, Derrick Henry was phenomenal last year.
He was.
But Derrick Henry's not a young man anymore. And Derrick Henry...
Is that what makes you drop the ball?
Well, yeah, it does. You're thinking about it. Now he's thinking about it. Yes.
It's a mental thing now.
It's a mental thing, and he also isn't putting up good numbers either. No. They aren't running the football. Some of that has to do with the offensive line. But if you saw him the other day, what was Derrick Henry doing? Bounce, bounce, bounce. When you have Derrick Henry bouncing, you won. This is a big week for Derrick Henry against the Chiefs.
And to me, why I said very concerned, because when you look at it, yes, they're probably most likely still going to win the division. But when you look at it, are they going to be able to be the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed? And I think the Baltimore Ravens, to get over that hump now, a couple of years ago, they were the number 1 seed, and Patrick Mahomes still came into their house and won. But I think if Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens want to get to the Super Bowl, they got to be one of the top 2 seeds. So that's why I'm very concerned.
The loser of this game will be going on the road in the playoffs. That's pretty much a given.
But okay, so for that point, though, you still have them going to the playoffs. Let's go to the side of the Chiefs, sitting at 1-2 as well. They first half against the Giants, not great. They did show up the second half there. A rare home underdog yet again. The line's actually moving even more. It was 1.5. It's now 2.5. So Pete, what is your panic meter? It feels like if you're not panicked about the rate, actually, Lige, I really want to know your answer, but we'll start with you.
I'm panicked about the Chiefs as a 1, as a 2 right now, but it will be a 1 in 3 weeks when they get guys back. Because right now they don't have anybody that can stretch the field. When Rashee Rice gets back, when Worthy gets healthy again, that changes how my panic meter goes with them. Because the team is different when they have speed to get down the field. Everybody plays you in a phone booth. It's hard to run the ball. You know that. They're not great running the ball. And it's hard to make plays in the intermediate area. If they get the speed going, they get Rice in the middle of the field, they get Worthy going down the field, they get Hollywood Brown coming underneath. All of a sudden now the passing game comes to life. And even Kelsey, when he catches the ball, will be able to make some plays. So I think right now the panic meter would be at 2. But if they win this week and can navigate through this and get their guys back, then it becomes a 1.
But that's the issue, right? Because they've played so well, they have a first-place schedule, right? So the games aren't easier for the Kansas City Chiefs. And to your point, guys are coming back, but there's an acclimation period. So what if they dig themselves in a hole? Say they start off 1-4. They're not probably going to catch the Chargers,
They got
right?
losing at Jacksonville next week on Monday night, huh?
I mean, it's possible the way the offense is played. The way the offense is played, and that's why I'm so concerned, because you've always been able to find
a
number 2, same as Pete. Very concerned. You've always been able to know what the identity of the Kansas City Chiefs is, even though it's kind of morphed throughout the years. This year, I don't know what they are. Right, their defense has played better, and they're kind of defensive-led. But on offense, like, what's the identity of the offense? Like, they've been able to out-execute people. They did that last year. They've been explosive on offense before when they had Tyreek Hill. Even without Tyreek Hill, they had the #1 offense in football. And you see, they still have games versus the Lions, the Commanders, Bills, Broncos, Cowboys, Texans, who are struggling right now. But it doesn't get easier for them. So to me, yes, they have guys coming back, and it will help the offense, but if you dig yourself in a hole too big, the Chargers are going to run away with this division.
They have to navigate through the next 3 games at winning 2 of those games. They have to win 2 of them. Preferably this week against the Ravens, but they have to win 2 of those games because then they get those guys back and the schedule kind of softens a little bit.
Loser of Chiefs-Ravens falls to 1-3. Do you know the only team to win a Super Bowl when starting 1-3?
2001 Patriots.
Did you read the research booklet?
Yeah, I stated it earlier. It was one of my fun facts earlier.
Oh, that was your fact earlier?
Yeah.
I missed that. I'm sorry for not listening.
Was.
Tom Brady's first
Yeah.
title.
That was
Tom Brady replaced Drew Bledsoe.
Correct.
That's exactly right.
Let's go to the Dallas Cowboys. And they are coming off games in which they have made Russell Wilson and Caleb Williams look like first-team All-Pros, Pete. What's the panic meter for the Cowboys right now?
The highest it could be, what's that, the 3?
It's a 3.
They're a 3.
Ooh.
Their defense is awful. And it's not just, well, Micah Parsons was there, it wouldn't be awful. No, if Micah Parsons was there, the defense would still be awful. They don't cover anybody on the back end. And I said this on Sunday. I said they look like they all are wearing cement shoes. They don't cover very well. They bust in coverage. They're slow on the back end. It's a bad defense. Now, they don't have Bland, so that matters some. If he's there, it's a different defense. But I think defensively, they're atrocious. If you make Russell Wilson throw for nearly 500 yards, that tells you how bad you are. It's a panic meter is a 3.
Can I read you a quote from Brian Schottenheimer today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do.
He said, quote, "We're good enough to beat the Packers even without CeeDee Lamb and Tyler Booker."
I don't think.
I mean, what is he supposed to say as a coach?
Right.
Like, that's what you're supposed
Believes
to say.
in his guys, but they're touchdown underdogs at home.
Well, CeeDee Lamb and Tyler Booker aren't here, so we're not going to win this game.
Exactly. Like, you're not going to go say that. I'm a little bit lower than Pete. I'm at a 2, very concerned, because to me, Pete, we knew this going into the season.
You didn't know it was going to be that bad.
I knew it was going to be that bad. Like, the injury bug at corner there was a lot of concerns. Remember, when you're depending, and this is no disrespect to Kyrie Elam, but the Bills traded him for a reason, because he struggled. And he looked good throughout training camp, but he has reverted back to the guy that was in Buffalo that they traded away, who is now starting for the Dallas Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs, I'm not sure if he rushed himself back from injury. He has not looked good. Deron Bland isn't there. So I knew this secondary was going to be bad. I just felt like with the offensive firepower that they had, that they would win shootout games, but they're not even doing that now with CeeDee Lamb being out and then George Pickens dropping balls and getting picked off. So I'm concerned. To me, it's not the panic button, because I already knew this was going to be an issue for the Cowboys. I had them being around a 500 team, so this was expected from them this year.
I thought they would be a playoff team.
I thought they were going to be like 8, 9, 9, and 8.
Yeah. Donovan Wilson has aged about 10 years in 2. I mean, he's gotten slow back there.
Micah Parsons, is he going to be cheered or booed by Dallas fans?
Booed. He should be booed.
Really?
Hell yeah.
He's on the opposite team, so, but
You boo the hell out of him. He
He's
wanted
on-
out, he got him out, and he's gone. He'd boo him. I'd boo the hell out of him. If I was in that crowd, I'd be booing like
Jerry
crazy.
said there will be no tribute.
Huh?
No
Of course
tribute.
there should be.
There should not be a tribute.
Tribute? He wasn't there for 4 years.
In basketball, they do it.
Get out of here.
Sometimes
He's on the opposite. Get him out of here.
It's really strange
When he's done playing, you have a tribute for him.
Let's go to the Falcons, and I mentioned this to Evan when we talked to him. They were my survivor pick, and
Ooh, that's tough.
now I get slimed, so this is fun. But that was bad. That
They only
was
lost by 30 to the
real
Panthers.
bad. I wanted to know how often a shutout happened. It's like 5%.
Yeah.
5% of the
Yeah.
time.
Well, and when you look at the Falcons, the panic meter is a 3, and it's because of the quarterback. The quarterback is not playing very well right now. You look at him, and it's hard to believe. And he wasn't great last year. In fairness to the kid, I'm going to give us all crap for rushing this one. We all thought, oh, they have their quarterback.
Yeah.
Michael Penix is their
for sure
quarterback.
about it.
They're going to put up good numbers on offense, and
But you're also one of those, put the quarterback out there, let's see what he is made
But
of.
right, but then I thought what we saw last year would carry over, and so far it hasn't carried over.
Yeah.
And he's just making some really elementary mistakes. The basic football, the pick 6, he has a guy wide open in the middle of the field, and he won't turn it loose, and he panics and throws it to the sideline. Can't do that. So my panic meter is a 3 with this team, and I'm worried about him across the board.
I'm going to say 2 very concerned, and it's because of what you said. He's still young. I don't think he's even played 15 games in the NFL. So, like, there's going to be ebbs and flows to your career. Now, he played abysmal on Sunday. Like,
He wasn't good 2 weeks ago either against the Vikings.
But he played adequate enough for them to win that game. Like, Sunday, they had no chance with the way he played.
didn't score any points,
He sailed.
TJ.
That's what I'm saying. He sailed. Well, I mean, they kicked field goals. I mean, also, and you say they were shut out. It was interesting, right? Because they cut Younghoe Koo because Romo went 5 of 5. But then Romo missed his 2 field goals in that game, and they could have put him up 6-0 early in that game. So we need to put that out there as well. But getting back to Michael
Blame the
Penix,
kicker. Always
I'm
blame
just
the
saying,
kicker.
he missed 2 easy field goals.
He
They would have
did.
been up 6-0. But Michael Penix, I don't know if it's a confidence thing because in the first half, everything sailed on him, right? And he has that big cannon. He's always good on those out routes. But everything sailed over the receivers like 5 to 10 yards. And it seemed like he kind of overcorrected himself in the second half, but everything was thrown into the dirt. So, like, I know they fired their receivers coach, so I'm like, was there something going on between him and the receivers where they weren't on the same page? Watching the tape, it didn't seem like the receivers were out of place, but this is on Michael Penix Jr. He has to play significantly better. I know Raheem Morris said, this is the kid's team. We're going to lean on him. We're not going back to Kirk Cousins. So only Mike and this offense can get them out of this rut right now.
They aren't going back to Kirk.
Yeah, there's no scenario in your mind, barring injury, that you go back to Kirk
You're
Cousins.
getting
For
up
what?
on your potential franchise quarterback. You know what you have in Kirk Cousins, and by the way, there's bad blood between the two sides. I can't imagine they're going back to Kirk Cousins.
All right, well, at least the Falcons and every other team we've talked about so far have won a game.
Yeah.
This last team on our panic meter has not won at all yet. It's the Houston Texans at 0-3, Pete. Where's your panic meter
3.
for this team? All the way to 3.
plus. 3 as high as you
said
can
3
possibly
plus.
go.
Out of all the teams we've talked
This is a
about,
panic
Yeah,
meter.
for
This,
sure.
this is bad. And the reason it's bad because the schedule is brutal. If they win 5 games this year with the schedule that they have, it will be a miracle because the schedule's tough and they're not any good.
Well, this week's got to be one of them. You're
This is a
playing the
win
Titans.
this week. This is a win this week. But look at the rest of that. At Ravens, at
Them
Seahawks,
next 4 after
Niners,
that
Broncos,
stink.
Jaguars, Titans, I mean, Bills, Colts, Chiefs. Do you see many wins on that schedule?
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's
And they're
tough.
not any good. And I'm worried about the quarterback. You know, we talk about quarterbacks. There's no progress being made by C.J. Stroud. You look at it, okay, the offense is terrible, and he's been hit a bunch, but he's not made any progress whatsoever in terms of going through the progressions and getting to 3 quickly. I think they're doing him a disservice because of the offensive line. I think they're doing him a disservice by not getting the ball out of his hands and keep driving the ball down the field. They don't have a ton of weapons on the outside. They don't have a running game. Once Joe Mixon went out, the running game, any chance of the running game went goodbye. They need to play Woody Marks. Nick Chubb's my age. He can't run anymore.
Oh, my
and
God.
so I think this is an entire It's sad because the defense is so good.
Really good.
Really good. I mean, they got pass rushers. They can stop the run. They got guys who can run at linebacker. The corners can cover. The safeties can hit. And the bottom line is they're playing defense knowing that they're not going to get much from the offense.
Yeah, it's a ring the alarm. Is that what Beyonce said in her song, Ring the Alarm? That's what it is
talking
for
to
the
2
Houston
people you
Texans.
know.
You're talking to 3 people you know that don't know.
To Pete's point, right, there's been a lot of assets thrown on the defensive side. And if you look look at the offensive side, it's like they didn't do that for C.J. Stroud. They traded away his best offensive lineman in Laramie Tunsil. They brought in all these new pieces on the offensive line. They're rotating guys in the middle of the game like this is a college football game. So you know there's concerns there. And then you have a new offensive coordinator and Nick Caley, and it seems like he doesn't have anything in regards to having an inventive offense to get C.J. some easy throws. You talked about it. If it's not Nico Collins down the field, who's getting the football? Like, I know Christian Kirk came back last week. He still doesn't look like he's 100% healthy. They drafted 2 young receivers. But the offensive line is so bad, they can't run the ball and create holes in the run game, and they struggle to protect C.J. Stroud. So now he's seeing phantom pressure, and instead of stepping up in the pocket, he's drifting back constantly and just throwing off his back foot. So it's a panic meter for the Houston Texans. To Pete's point, the schedule is a gauntlet going forward, and you worry about C.J. Stroud's mental after these last 2 seasons, because we were ready to crown him. I was one of those people after his first year and say, this is a guy that's potentially going to be a top 5 quarterback. And to Pete's point, he's regressed the last couple of years.
But they did give stuff for C.J. Stroud. Okay, maybe Tunsil went, but they drafted a tackle who's playing left tackle.
But a second round, a rookie, that's what I'm saying, second round
You
rookie.
brought 2 new guards in, and granted, they're not good players. They brought the wrong guys.
And they were swing guys.
They brought the wrong guys in, and they drafted 2 receivers that they don't use. I mean, they tried. They just didn't do anything so far.
Notice Pete has a little vein that pops out.
You better get angry.
When it gets going.
I get angry.
By the way, it was a 2006 Beyonce song.
Wow,
love
you
that.
went back a yesteryear.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man.
You went back in time.
Hey, you got to throw little facts out there from the
Our heads are spinning.
That was Pete's 25th year here at CBS, 2006. I remember you celebrating that. Here's our slate this weekend on CBS, this Sunday to be exact. Commanders, Falcons in that early window. And then the late window, Ravens, Chiefs, NFL Today, and NFL Today Plus, Amanda included, will be on site
Barbecue
in Kansas City.
But where? Let me know where
There's
to go.
plenty of places.